The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
Rav Moshe Friedman was a boy, a man born in Poland in 1930. And him was just a boy, part of a family. And their whole family survived the war. There were a tremendous series of miracles that basically had them sent to Siberia, where they were living in Siberia during the course of the war, so they managed to survive the Nazi brutality and murder. After the war, his father heard that the Nazis had turned Jews, used the Jewish bodies to create soap that was being sold in Poland. And his father took his son, Moshe, and they traveled back to Poland to attempt to buy and purchase as much of this soap as they could, which was really Jewish remains, and give it a proper burial the way Jewish remains deserve to be buried. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. They spent a couple of weeks there purchasing the soap, burying it, and eventually they went back to Siberia. This was the story the family knew. When this Rav Moshe Friedman was an older man, he went to travel to Eretz Yisrael. And among the Gedolim that he went to go visit, one of them was Rabbi Ovadia Yosef. And he walked into the room, this was Moshe Friedman. And Rabbi Ovadia looked up and said, "Why do I smell the scent of Gan Eden, of paradise, on you?" He said, "What have you done that makes me smell Gan Eden when you walk in the room?" So this Moshe Friedman said, "Well, I have children who are unlearning, and I support them, I give them a lot of money." But Ovadia said, "No. A lot of people do that. No. Something else, something unique, tell me." Rabbi Ovadia Yosef realized that this Moshe Friedman was not going to tell while anyone else was there, so he sent everyone out of the room. The only person who remained in the room was a young man named David, who was the translator between them. And this Moshe Friedman told him, "Well, when me and my father went back to Poland to get the soap, I was 15 at the time. And we bought up all the soap we could find. And we decided it was time to go rejoin the family back in Siberia. And on the day that we're getting ready to leave, I'm standing there on the street alone. My father wasn't with me. And a man comes over and he says, 'Are you the people buying the Jewish soap?' I said, 'Yes.' He said, 'Well, I have a box of it that I want to sell you.' He said, I was 15. I didn't have money on me. My father wasn't with me. I said, 'Well, can I have the box? And I'll go get the money. I'll bury it. I'll get the money from my father. I'll give you.' The guy said, no, I'm not trusting that. Now or never, are you buying this soap? Chance to give these Jews that last honor of being buried right, but I didn't have money." He said, "But I had on a pair of very warm pants." He said, "The fellow talking to me was wearing extremely thin pants, and in the frigid winter, both in Poland and definitely in Siberia, the value of a pair of warm pants was indescribable. And I said to the fellow, 'No, please, I want that box of soap. I will trade you pants. Take these pants if I could have the box of soap.' And the guy said, 'Absolutely, for those pants.' They traded pants right there. He said, "I bought those pants, that box of soap with the pants I was wearing. And I buried that final box of soap. Went back to Siberia and suffered through a freezing winter with the thin cotton pants I got from that fellow. but I buried that last box of soap. And Rabbi Vadia Yosef said to him, that is the smell I'm smelling, because all the neshamas of the people you helped, they all died as kedoshim, as holy martyrs. And every one of them is in Gan Eden, is in paradise now. And their souls have been accompanying you throughout your life since that day. And when you walked in here, I smell the paradise emanating from those souls that are with you because of what you did. Unbelievable. Listen to that. Years go by. And Moshe Friedman dies. David, the interpreter who was in that room, the only person in that room, besides Rabbi Vadia Yosef, comes to comfort the mourners, to be Menachem Avel, and he comes and he says to the family, wow, your father, that story with the pants was really so incredible. And the family turns to him and says, what story with the pants? He said, the story that your father said to Rabbi Vadia Yosef, where he smelled paradise on him. They said, we never heard that story. When he came back, we asked him how his visit was with Rabbi Vadia Yosef. All he said was it was a very inspiring trip. My friends, a 15-year-old boy does something that nobody knows. There was nobody around. Nobody ever knows. Decades and decades go by until Rabbi Vadia Yosef says, I smell paradise on you. From a moment of your life that nobody heard of. But the greatness was so huge that you have souls following you around your whole life for what you did. You smell like Gan Eden. No plaque, no applause, no dinner, no kiddush. Not a soul even knows, but Hashem knows. And the souls of the people you helped know. You smell like paradise. And then he goes home and he still doesn't tell anybody. Not his own family, because it doesn't matter. Because nobody needs to know for the greatness to be real. What story with the pants? What are you talking about? He never told us. He never told anyone. But he still smelled like paradise. He still walked around surrounded by heaven. Because in life, my dear friends, it's not about the noise. It's about doing what's right. Clinging to Hashem. Dedicating our hearts and souls to that relationship, to that commitment, to those moments, to those achievements, to standing up to those challenges. And in the absolute silence, we could be stuffing heaven and paradise in our pockets, shaking the world, lighting up heaven and earth, and bringing tremendous celebration to Hashem up in Shemayim. May we all merit to see greatness where it really is, and to grab every one of those opportunities, be them loud or quiet, to use every one of them to rise to the heights of greatness and closeness with Hashem.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org